my name is Maylin Chan, and today I will be doing the 4 elements reflection. To begin with, I have reflected deeply on who I am in relation to settler colonialism, power, and privilege, especially as an international student from Vietnam. Before taking this course, I did not fully understand how colonial systems shaped Canada's healthcare, education, and land governance. I now see how Indigenous peoples have carried the burden of these systems, while many others, including people like me, benefit from them without always realizing it. And learning about colonial shrapnel helps me understand that colonialism is not just historical. It's a current, ongoing structure that affects health outcomes, opportunities, and even visibility. And my role is to unlearn assumptions, listen deeply, and act ethically in how I engage with Indigenous communities. I carry responsibilities shaped by my cultural background, including humility, respect for elders, and communal care, and I want to bring those values into my nursing practice. One of the most important lessons that I have learned is the power of reciprocity. Indigenous worldviews remind us that relationships must be balanced. We must give as much as we receive. And when I introduced myself to the land for the first time, that act actually sparked a shift in me. I began to see nursing not just as a career, but as a service that grounded in humility, gratitude, and deep responsibility. And whether it is supporting family-centered care, advocating for cultural safety, or just listening with an open heart, I now view reciprocity as an ongoing practice. I want to walk alongside with Indigenous peoples, not as a savior or outsider, but as a future nurse who shows up with care and commitment. Service is not just doing something, it's being in relationship. This course transformed how I understand land. Before, I thought of it in a practical way, a location, a destination. But now I see land as a living relative with spirit, wisdom, and memory. During my first trip to Banff, surrounded by mountains, trees, rivers, and stars, I felt this connection deeply. I started to understand why land is central to Indigenous identity and healing. Settler colonialism teaches us to see land as property, but Indigenous teachings us that land is sacred. I've begun to unlearn that colonial mindset. Now I want to protect land, respect it, and honor the stories it holds. And as a nurse, I recognize the health is not just found in hospitals, but also in ceremony, community, and land itself. So one of the most challenging and necessary lessons from this course has been confronting anti-Indigenous racism in healthcare. I learned about whiteness in nursing. I saw how racism hides in silence, assumptions, and policies, and how it harms patients and communities. And as a future nurse, I have responsibility to recognize my own bias, stay open, and practice cultural humility. That means creating space for Indigenous voices, supporting traditional healing, and speaking up when I witness injustice. Disrupting racism is not just a one-time act. It's a lifelong practice. I want to be a nurse who listens first and acts with courage, equity, and compassion. Through air, fire, earth, and water, I've begun to understand myself in new ways. As a guest, as a learner, a witness, and a future caregiver, I will carry these teachings with me, not just in this course, but in every patient interaction, every clinical setting, and in every relationship I built in my nursing journey. Thank you for listening.